Hello, Glasgow. Scotland's largest city will once again host the UFC Octagon as the MMA leader continues its international takeover. And there is 8th-ranked welterweight Gunnar Nelson. Iceland's top fighter submitted his last 2 opponents and is looking to make it 3 in a row close to home. Standing in his way will be Argentinian kickboxer Santiago Ponzinibbio. Boasting a 4-fight win streak of his own, Jane Chiboa could break the top 10 for the first time with a victory tomorrow. And in the co-main event, top 15 strawweights Johanne Calderwood and Cynthia Calvillo vie for contendership in Scotland. The FS1 UFC Fight Night weigh-in show starts now. Tomorrow they fight, today they weigh in. Hello everyone and welcome to the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles. 8 hours earlier than our friends in Glasgow. Karen Bryan alongside 3-time title challenger Kenny Florian, 6th-ranked strawweight Michelle Watterson, and the reigning, defending middleweight champion of the world,
undisputed,
Michael Bisping. All right, champ, let's start with you, sir. We got a great main event tomorrow. We've got welterweights here. This is a great weight class. Santiago Ponzinibbio and Gunnar Nelson going to square off in this one.
Yeah, Gunnar Nelson, I mean, when you think of this guy, you think of submissions. And outside of Damian Maia, there really isn't anybody else that's been as successful as Gunnar has, bringing jiu-jitsu to the octagon. Of course, he sets it up with his hands. He's a very, very powerful striker. He gets his opponents rocked, and then he puts in the submission. He's taking on Santiago Ponzinibbio. This guy, I mean, just look at him. He's all-out action, lots of knockout power, head kicks, wheel kicks, the complete package.
Yeah, Ponzinibbio is one of those guys, when you hit him, it seems to make him even more dangerous. Loves to be in a brawl, so Gunnar Nelson has to be very careful to not trade too long with this guy in the pocket. But when it comes to striking, Gunnar Nelson is no slouch either. Doesn't throw a lot of volume like Ponzinibbio, but he does land shots and he hits his takedowns. From there, he's so fundamentally sound with his jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, 2 opposing styles in the main event, but also, Michelle, in the co-main event, you could say the same thing. In your division, the strawweights, Johanne Calderwood, who is a very good striker, taking on Cynthia Calvillo, who's great on the ground.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of striker versus grappler. As we know, JoJo's in the top 10. That's where Cynthia wants to be, so she has to take home this victory. And she's been on this string of wins with all her submissions, and there's a lot of hype behind her because she's so entertaining to watch.
Yeah, that's right. She made her debut, Cynthia, at UFC 209, had an impressive outing. UFC put a quick turnaround, straight on another pay-per-view. She had another fantastic performance, and now here she is, co-main event on an FS1 Fight Night. UFC obviously have a lot of stock invested in her.
Yeah, she is really a rising star out of Team Alpha Male. We have a lot of great locals on this card as well, so there's going to be some Scottish locals fighting, making the fans happy. That is it for us for now. We're going to send you out to the stage in beautiful Glasgow, Scotland, where our man Dan Hardy is on the mic. Take it away, Outlaw.
Have fun, guys. Okay, Glasgow. Welcome to the Fight Night weigh-ins. Let's get this thing started. Please welcome on stage the beautiful ladies, Carly Baker and Luciana. Of course, the important people, Sean Shelby, Joe Carr, and Ricky Security. How we doing, Ricky? Okay, you all ready for this? Let's make some noise. Come on. That's better. Okay, guys, the first fight in the women's bantamweight division, Leslie Smith versus Amanda Lemos. First to the stage in the blue corner, Amanda Lemos.
Amanda Lemos says she has 2 brothers at home, but she's the only one in the family that does any sort of MMA. The jungle fighting bantamweight champion said that she actually started out training as a joke and then turned out to be really good at it. She makes her UFC debut here in Scotland.
Gotta love the old starting out training as a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke, right? Better to start out.
Hilarious.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Start out as a joke than to end as a joke. You know what I mean?
Knock you out.
134 for Amanda Lemos.
But I have a feeling that happens a lot of time, that you find out you're gifted at something that you didn't really expect.
Playing around.
You hear about
And her opponent in the red corner,
I actually
Leslie,
always knew
the
I was
Peacemaker
fantastic,
Smith.
Is that right? Never doubted yourself.
So Leslie Smith is a pioneer of women's MMA, but she actually started fighting because of her original job, which was watering plants at a nursery.
And that's quite the hoodie she's wearing now.
Well, she wanted to start doing a more healthy lifestyle, and then that's what got her into that MMA gym.
135 for Leslie Smith.
Leslie's a gamer, too. This is the woman who will
So
just
tough.
throw down any time. So fun to watch.
Yeah, I love watching Leslie fight.
Yep.
Certainly got a reach advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like it anyway.
Next up in the bantamweight division, Brett Johns versus Albert Morales. First to the stage in the blue corner, Albert, the Warrior Morales.
Well, Albert Morales is 2-1 in the UFC, and on his second fight, actually got to fight Thomas Almeida. So I think that says a lot about how much stock the UFC have in this guy, because that's certainly a very, very tough fight for your second outing. He didn't win that one, but he rebounded with a very, very nice victory. And here he is, UFC Glasgow, looking to make it 2 in a row.
134 for Albert Morales.
134, so a pound under the weight class there.
And his opponent in the red corner,
haggis in Scotland.
Brett the Pikey Johns.
Do you like Dag's bite? Well, Brett the Pikey Johns likes Dags, and listen, this is what do you mean dogs? Well, this is his dream come true to be fighting in the UFC. Already has a win in the UFC over Kwan Hak Kwok, and this is a guy who is undefeated both as an amateur and as a professional. He's a black belt in judo, a purple belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and a brown belt in Muay Thai. So definitely has all the martial arts background to be very successful in this sport.
And he's a third down at pulling up his socks, screaming at the crowd.
135 for the Pikey.
That's my look right there.
Yeah, listen,
look.
listen. Pikeys aren't generally associated with Wales, but they are associated with bad underwear and socks pulled up
That
like
is
that.
going to be
And
fireworks.
Oh, yeah, he's excited. Go.
Kicking off the Fox prelims, Daniel Henry versus Daniel Tamor. First to the stage, Daniel Tamor.
Daniel Tamer says that when he wants to blow off some steam away from the gym or fighting, he heads to the kitchen. Not to eat, but to cook. He said he's actually a pretty good chef, loves to cook any kind of food. His brother David tells me that's one of the perks of having him in the family.
Obviously, that Scottish summertime is kicking in there. He had to keep the shades on.
155 for Daniel Tamor.
Whoa!
Fired up.
Go.
And his opponent in the red corner, making his UFC debut, Danny Henry.
There is the hatchet, Danny Henry, 6 feet, 155 pounds. That is very tall and lanky for the division. He'll be representing his home country, Scotland. He's from Edinburgh. Has a very good record at 13-2. This is his UFC
Danny
debut.
Henry.
This other guy is hyped up. Look at him.
Must be happy.
Tamor.
And he must be happy to be fighting in his home country of Scotland. His last 7 fights were in South Africa.
Oh, my.
He went
Give
second.
him a little face rub, not a slap.
Next up in the welterweight division, Charlie Ward versus Galore Bafando. First to the stage, making his UFC debut, Galore Bafando.
Galore Bafando. He doesn't have a fight nickname. I think we have to give him one. But yeah, he says that his strength in fighting is his adaptability. Also, fun fact about him is his hero is Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, wow.
Oh, look at that! Oh, that was awesome.
I'm a big Dragon Ball Z guy myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, love it.
Can you have a cartoon as a hero?
Yeah.
170 for Galore Bafando. And his opponent in the red corner, Charlie Relentless Ward.
Charlie Ward here, fighting out SBG, of course, teammate of Conor McGregor. Kind of had an infamous rise in the early stages of his mixed martial arts career, but he's here in the UFC. He's won 3 of his last 4, 1 win by KO, unbeaten as an amateur.
169 for Charlie Ward.
But I gotta say, I think he loses the stepping on the scale game, because Bafando did that with a bit of...
For sure.
That was cool.
I'm also curious what used to be the tattoo that is clearly very well covered up now.
How about the neck tattoo?
Yeah.
Moving on to the flyweight division, Alexandria Pantoja versus Neil Siri. First to the stage in the blue corner, Neil two-tap Siri.
There is Neil Siri, who, has had some consistency issues in the UFC, but he's such a fun fighter to watch. This is a guy who used to work in a warehouse, then turned into a pro mixed martial arts fighter.
125 for Neil Siri.
Has excellent boxing, not too shabby on the mat either. Got to watch out for his
in the red
guillotine choke.
corner, Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja.
Alexandre Pantoja says that when he had his sons, everything in his life changed. Now when he walks to the octagon, he doesn't just do so for himself, he does so for his family. His wife Gabriella has never seen him fight live, but she made the journey here to Scotland to be by his side.
So Pantoja, of course, was on The Ultimate Fighter, and I believe he was actually the #1 ranked seed on his season. Took on Brandon Moreno. McLovin in the first one and put McLovin away, but since then McLovin's been doing great, so...
And the headlining bout of the preliminary card, Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts versus Bobby Nasty Nash. First to the stage, Bobby Nash.
Here we go with Bobby Nash. He trains out at Jackson's every now and then, and his fight name is Nasty, just like his last name, but a little bit more nasty. He went to college at Michigan
His name
State.
is Janet Mish Nasty.
Yeah, nasty.
Janet McNasty.
What'd you think of him when you saw him in the gym?
He's a really nice guy. Everybody at the gym is really nice. They're really
Did he fight?
Of course, 100%. He's a Division I Big Ten collegiate wrestler.
170 for Bobby Nash. And his opponent in the red corner, Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts.
Danny Roberts grew up in South London in pretty much government housing with his single mom and his 10 siblings. That was until the age of 9. Then they moved to Bristol. He said he took up boxing at the age of 16 to defend his family and himself. That translated to MMA. He became a pro in 2010.
Yeah, Danny Roberts is he's located in England, but he's been training out at ATT for a while now. Really pushing himself hard. We share the same Muay Thai coach back home in England, Darren Morris. Has a lot of good things to say about this guy.
Yeah, stare down's pretty serious. Yep.
Hello again and welcome back inside the Fox studios. Just 6 more fights remain. Next up on the main card are heavyweights James Mohan and Justin Willis. I will get you started on Justin Willis. This is a guy who is making his UFC debut. Quite familiar with our good friend Daniel Cormier as he's training out of American Kickboxing Academy up in San Jose. And Justin Willis does have a couple of first-round finishes, got some knockout power, so... He had a loss in his first fight, but
264 for Justin Willis.
Unbeaten since then.
Obviously follows Daniel Cormier's
And his
strict
opponent in the
diet
red
regime.
corner.
You were gonna say that.
Come on.
It's like core muscle.
What you talk about, Willis? Well, here's another guy making his UFC debut. 2 first-round finishes. What you talk about, Willis? Come on, that was good. I've had that one in my back pocket all week. And here's another one on the DC diet as well.
Jeez.
You know,
Hey, he's
big boys.
training right
Listen,
now, bud.
These guys can hit. I've
240
seen
for
it
the
big time.
juggernaut, James Mohan.
All about that cake. About that cake.
Yes, he's proud of it.
Wow.
I forget.
These are big guys, Bisping. You better watch
I'm
yourself.
Gosh, Michael.
It just takes one hit from these guys.
Wow.
Oh, just a little stick out
Get a
the
little-
tongue.
Crazy eyes.
How about that cauliflower?
Next up in the light heavyweight division, Khalil Roundtree versus Paul Craig. First to the stage, Khalil Roundtree.
Paul Craig recently retired after a career of 7 years teaching high school students personal development. He said that there are a lot of role models out there, but not a lot of positive ones, and that's what he strives to be.
Is it me or has he got something on his face?
It looks
Very
like
artistic there.
Yeah, no, dropping the Scottish flag there.
For sure. Strong beard game, huh, Flo?
Yes, very strong.
And his opponent, Khalil Roundtree.
There is the Tough 23 finalist. Khalil Roundtree coming off a big win over Daniel Jolly from LA, trains in Vegas. 6-2 MMA record, but he is undefeated in cupcake eating contests.
Yes.
If you remember, KB, on Tough
Absolutely.
Talk, he went 1-0 and he upset Misha Cupcake
Which-
Tate.
no
Very
easy feat,
surprising,
yeah.
surprising result there.
203 for Khalil Roundtree.
Looks like he's been avoiding cupcakes.
For
Looks in
sure.
great shape.
Say
Wow.
that.
And it's amazing because he literally used to weigh around 300 pounds
Yes.
or so,
Changes-
and changed his whole life.
Got in MMA to lose weight. And look at him now.
Uh-oh, they're getting close.
Right.
Next up in the middleweight division, Jack Marshman versus Ryan James. First to the stage in the blue corner, Ryan James.
Ryan James is a self-proclaimed board game junkie. He and his friends have hundreds of board games and they play weekly. We're not talking Monopoly here. These are cooperative strategy games, and his favorite right now is a game called Pandemic.
185 for Ryan James.
Michael,
Yeah, I'm not sure about this fight, but he can sure win a game of Monopoly.
I can see you hanging out with him.
Yeah.
Marshman.
Candy Crush.
Jack Marshman used to be the Cage Warriors champion, which is kind of becoming an unofficial, feeder system for the UFC because Dan Hardy used to be the Cage Warriors champion. Conor McGregor used to be the Cage Warriors champion. He used to be the Cage Warriors champion. And some guy, Michael Bisping?
Who's that?
He used to be a Cage Warriors champion as well.
185 for the hammer, Jack Marshman.
So he's in a good position, representing Wales here. Wales against Canada.
He's been down at Jackson's training with Frank the Tank.
Ryan James,
No.
Marshman.
Moving on to the lightweight division, Stevie Ray versus Paul Felder. First to the stage in the blue corner, Paul, the Irish Dragon Felder.
So Paul used to train with Cowboy a bunch, but so I know him, and I reached out to him earlier this week, and he wanted me to tell everybody that his father passed away a week before his fight camp started from pancreatic cancer. And so even though Stevie Ray might have the crowd in his corner, he has his father with him, and that's what's going to push him.
155 for Paul Felder.
Felder, just one of the biggest lightweights I've
And his opponent in the
Massive
red
round.
corner, Stevie Braveheart Ray.
Stevie holds. Now! Stevie Braveheart Ray. He says Paul Felder is a tough opponent. He likes to put on good fights for the fans, which is what I want. And I want someone who will bring out the best in me
155 for Stevie Ray.
so they can put on a great fight for the crowd. And I think we are going to get just that.
For sure.
These
Early
guys always
contender
bring it. Absolutely.
For fight of the night right here. Yeah, both these guys.
Uh-oh.
And I love what about Paul Felder. As soon as you hit him, he's like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
It's sort of like, "Thank you, sir. May I have another?" type attitude,
Yes.
which is pretty great.
Yeah, it's that fight or flight.
Yup.
Definitely.
Love it.
Moving
So
on to
fun
the
to watch.
co-main event in the women's strawweight division, Johanne Calderwood versus Cynthia Calvillo. First to the stage, Cynthia Calvillo.
We should all wish Cynthia happy birthday. It was her birthday on Thursday, and I bet you she would want nothing more for her birthday than to fight tomorrow and win. She just loves to fight. If you see any of her fights, she's just smiling from ear to ear. It's because when she's in the octagon, that's her home.
116 for Cynthia Calvillo.
Now, is that a dig at her
And
opponent
her
there?
opponent in the red
Poor
corner,
belly and
Johanne
I see.
Jojo
Well, it may have been,
Calderwood.
Karen, because unfortunately, Johanna Calderwood here came in a little heavy. 118 pounds, of course. 116 pounds is the limit. She lost that by 2 pounds. I'm sure she's very upset that happening at home in Glasgow. Johanna Calderwood, fantastic striker. She was a multiple division world champion kickboxer. My coach speaks very, very highly of her. Very, very technical.
118 for Johanne Calderwood. She will forfeit a potential
Very
reversal
technical with the
opponent.
striking. Maybe not so technical with the diet, though.
well, she's truly a.
There you go.
She's fired up.
Yeah, she's really a 125er too. Truth be told, 115 is tough for her to make.
Here's your co-main event, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
That's going to be a great
I'm sorry,
fight.
Karen, if you agree to fight at 115.
I agree with you. I agree. I'm just saying.
Now it's time to take a look at the two men involved in the main event of the evening.
My mind is calmer when I'm doing something. The more action there is, almost the calmer my mind gets. I focus on the things that I'm doing. I focus on what's in front of me. Ponzinibbio is a tough opponent. He's a challenge, and I'll take it. Judging from his fights, he likes to keep it on the feet and strike.
Yo sé que Gunnar Nelson va a querer derrubarme, pero yo estoy preparado para eso. Mi ventaja como peleador es que yo soy mejor striker que él y la pelea empieza de pie. Yo soy peligroso en pie, soy rápido. Creo que la evolución constante de mis entrenamientos es lo que está trayendo este resultado. Vengo de 4 victorias seguidas y tengo poder de knockout en mis manos. Así que mejor que no intercambien golpes conmigo. Y sé que tengo todo el potencial para ganar el de él y seguir creciendo dentro de la categoría. Es un escalón más para mi objetivo final.
I train my finishes really well. I have been more strategic in my last few fights. I don't try to just dominate the fight positionally and take more time cornering my opponent, pushing him into the corner slowly, evolving my mind towards the finish. I definitely want to be a champion. I want to win my fights. I want to win all of the fights, every single one of them. So I'm going in there and I'm going to finish this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, Santiago Gentimoa Ponzinibbio.
Well, Santiago says that this is just another fight, but he better be careful because, of course, he's taking on Gunnar Nelson. But he says that he's ready for war. Make of that what you will. Of course, he's a BJJ black belt, but he wants to keep this fight on the feet. Of course, Gunnar Nelson is a submission specialist, and this guy is a specialist on the feet. He's putting extra focus for this one, though. It's his first main event. First time he's gone 5 rounds. But as I say, he's looking at this as just another fight, and he certainly looks very relaxed.
171 for Santiago Ponzinibbio.
Is that the thing to do, though, or should you sort of hype yourself up for the big moment of it being your first game?
And his opponent in the red corner.
You can look at it both ways.
Yeah.
You know, it can be a good thing and a bad thing.
There is Gunnar Nelson, and despite being known as an elite Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, he actually started his martial arts training in karate. He is a IBJJF Pan Am gold medalist in Jiu-Jitsu without the gi and silver medalist in the absolute division.
170 for Gunnar Nelson.
Known for his very calm demeanor, there is the stoic Gunnar Nelson.
Very evenly matched physically when you look at them.
Okay, let's get a word with your main event fighters. Santiago, talk to me about this experience of coming over to Scotland and fighting in front of these amazing fans.
Man, I am very, very excited. I'm very happy for this opportunity. Glasgow is so beautiful. This place is amazing. Yeah, I'm very happy for this fight, the main event. The people see my work. I work very, very hard every day. And the people understand this Sunday.
Good luck tomorrow night. Santiago Ponzinibbio. Gunnar Nelson. You can see the fans love you here. Talk to me about Santiago Ponzinibbio as an opponent and what you think about him.
Yeah, he's a tough opponent. He's a good striker. He will be trying to keep it on the feet, I believe. Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. I think this crowd is going to be good.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. That's your main event. Gunnar Nelson. Thank you, everybody. We will see you here tomorrow. Get outside and get some autographs from Emil Meng and meet all the fans. Great to see you guys. See you tomorrow.
All right, back from Glasgow here in LA. And Kenny, I'm not being facetious at all when I say Gunnar Nelson actually looked kind of fired up. We don't usually get that much emotion out of him.
This is true. You know, it wasn't the most exciting stare down or anything, but do not be fooled. Ponzinibbio He's a very happy guy, but when he goes out to fight, he's trying to kill you for sure. And Gunnar Nelson, very stoic, always in his approach, but he is an amazing competitor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have to disagree, Karen. I wouldn't say they were fired up, but honestly, I don't think that is representative of what's going to happen tomorrow night, because both of these guys bring it each and every single time. So, come on, fired up. I wouldn't say it was fired up.
I didn't say fired up. I said we saw some emotion from him. For Gunnar, that's what I'm saying. Put it all in
scale. He said he was excited, but he didn't look excited.
He was smiling. He was happy. Michelle.
That was his emotion.
Yes. On the other side of this, though, okay, Michael, would you say that the women were fired up? Johanne Calderwood and Cynthia Calvillo got in each other's faces. So, Michelle, what do you make of the fact that they're that scrappy already at the stare down?
Cynthia always brings it. She just likes to ignite and push. She just pushes people's buttons. And JoJo, she's usually really cool and calm and very quiet. And so it's really fun to watch this.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird, I'm going to put my guard up, and then like the forearms touched, and then it was like, you know, it was, yeah, it was interesting.
Calvillo is one of those fighters, a lot like the Diaz brothers, a lot like Conor, a lot like Michael Bisping.
Is she like that?
No, she is. I think she thrives in the chaos.
Yeah, she does.
She likes getting her opponents emotional because I think that just drives her that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right, we're going to take a look at tomorrow's schedule. It's a special Sunday edition of UFC Fight Night at noon Eastern. Join us on FS2 for the pre-fight show. That's going to be followed by the prelims at 1, main card at 3. Then, of course, a post-fight show immediately following the headliner. That's also on FS1. But for now, your place is right here. Submission machine Gunnar Nelson knows how to put opponents away on the ground. But can he shake off the one-trick pony label? I will ask the guys and lady, and they will answer next on FS1.